Hello, welcome to MelMade. My name's Mel and this is a podcast all about the things that I have made. I am a hobby knitter based in the northeast of England, and at the moment we've had a really spell of really mild, dull weather. It's been no sunshine, but it's been really weirdly just warm almost for this time of year. But the last couple of days the temperatures suddenly dropped. It's been clear skies, we've had some sunshine. The light is fading, so I've got a light in front of me, lights behind me. I'm really hoping that you can see okay. So hopefully we've got just enough time as the night draws in for me to record and actually things to be seen in the colours that they're supposed to be. So first of all, we'll start with what I'm wearing. What I'm wearing is also, as you can probably see if you watched last time, my finished object. I am wearing my Instant Crush by Joji Locatelli. And stand up a bit so you can see. You can't see properly, I'll put a picture up in here. I'm really pleased with this. Last time I recorded I'd got to, I think I'd split for the sleeves and I was really enjoying it. I continue to enjoy it. It was a really fun knit. It was intense. It's knitted in several different types of alpaca silk mohair. It's intended to be knitted with 2 strands of standard silk mohair. When I say standard, I mean thinner than the cumulus that I usually use. But this one is knitted. The reason I chose this pattern, partly, is because this colour here, it's beautiful. I got a gorgeous skein of alpaca and silk, sort of Aran weight yarn from my partner when he went to Barcelona. He got it from a shop called All You Knit Is Love, and it's hand dyed and it was so beautiful. And then I thought I'm going to find a pattern to knit with it, and this is the one I came up with. So this is 1 strand of that because it was quite thick, a lot thicker than I thought it was originally. It's this dark purple here. The main colour is aubergine in Fibre Space Cumulus, which is a combination of baby alpaca and silk. That's a little bit thicker than say a standard mohair, but I still stranded 2 together because of the thickness of this one, because that seemed to match that. This, well, it looks more browny next to the aubergine, which I think is a little bit of an issue, but this sort of light is like a light purpley pink. This is called Thistle, and again it's the cumulus, and it's stranded with knitted with 2 strands. And this white is more of a what you would call like your standard weight silk mohair, and it's called Crea Deluxe, and I believe the colour is cream, but I've used 3 strands of that because it was so thin. So there's still a little bit of a difference between the weight of that with 3 strands and this, but I think it worked. It came together, especially once it had blocked, it evened out. It's a lot more fitted than Joji intended it to be, but it is, because it's mainly alpaca, this alpaca's got a tendency to stretch and drape and hang and grow. And so I went for the snug side. It's probably a little bit more fitted right now than I'd want it to be, but I'm pretty confident that over the next couple of washes it's going to just relax and grow a little bit, and then I'll have a relaxed fit jumper. That is my cunning plan. If it doesn't, I'm still really happy with it. It's very jolly. It's a lot sort of brighter, maybe a bit louder than something I would normally wear, but I think it's fun, and you can even get away with it. Feels a bit wintry, Christmassy. Yeah. I'm really pleased with it. It was really easy pattern to follow. I would recommend it as a knit. And I know one lady in my knitting group that I go to had done this, but she stopped the colour work maybe here and then knitted it plain because she thought with the 2 strands it's very warm. I would say that about it. Very light, very warm, which is really nice. But she was saying quite rightly, is it going to be too warm, to wear inside some of the time, especially if you go to places where the heating's blasting? Because if you wear real wool jumpers, I always look for sort of cold rooms because I want to be sort of smug that I'm really warm. But I know lots of places that I visit, I know lots of places that I go, the heating's on really high, so I'm like, oh. So you've got to be able to strip off or wear a lighter jumper, which is crazy really in the day and age we live in, when everyone's trying to be careful with their careful with energy use and the cost of energy and stuff. But anyway, this lady said she stopped the colour work there because she thought it would be quite thick to have the it's not only 2 strands, it's 4, because you're doubling up with the colour work and alternating. So she just thought it would be too warm to do that all over. I can confirm it's very warm, but I'm not complaining. I mean, my house is normally fairly cool, so I wear it at home. So yeah, very, very happy with this pattern. And if I could knit it again, I would knit it again. I would definitely knit it in more muted colours, because I think with a big print, it's a very big statement, and I think it would work. Oh, I've found where I missed a stitch. Oh no, the little stitch missing. Never mind, no one needs to know that. Yeah, but you could definitely knit this with less of a contrast and still be beautiful and make a statement, I think, with this pattern. So there's loads of really, really beautiful project pages on Ravelry showing off like different colour choices for this one if you want to go and have a look. So that's my finished object. I should say, I believe I knitted this in 5.5mm needles, and it was top down in the round, but I do talk about this in previous episodes. So moving on to my WIPS. I'm really, really good today. My current WIPS are, for the first time in quite a long time, my previous episodes' SWIPs. So I have my WIPs, my works in progress, and I have my SWIPs, my soon-to-be works in progress, and I talk about them at the end. It's really sort of knitting dreams, knitting plans. But I've been really disciplined, maybe because Christmas is coming and I've got some Christmas knits on, but my previous SWIPs are now my WIPs. So the first one I have is, I am knitting for my very knit-worthy friend, the Good Grandpa cardigan. I'll put a picture of the pattern in. I just waved my hand. I don't know where I'm going to end up putting the pattern, but a picture will come up of the pattern. Oh, I can't remember who designed it, but I'll put it up on the screen. I do know it, it's just not right in front of me, and I'm brain dead this weekend. This is what I have so far. We've got, oh, hang on. We've got an arm, a front here. We have a little armhole. We have another front, and we have half a sleeve. It's so squidgy and lovely. Oh my goodness, I've just seen another place where I've dropped a stitch. You know when the light comes through and you hold it up? Something's gone on there. Never mind. She won't mind. She's a very understanding friend, she won't mind. I am knitting this. Oh, it's light and squidgy and luxe. Is that the word? How do you pronounce it? Luxe. Knitting this with Cascade 220 in cream. She did say she wanted an oatmeal, and I think I talked about this a little bit, like my ideas for how this would work in the last episode. But I ended up ordering some Knitting for Olive silk mohair in the shade Sparrow. I'll show you the colour. Oh, I don't know if it's going to show up properly there. It's a little bit more subtle and goldeny. Maybe if I put it there, you could. That's more like the real colour if you see it there. It's too near the light before it was blowing out. So this is in shade Sparrow. This is a silk mohair, and I've stranded it with Cascade 220. Here is it in a ball, and these two together are making the perfect, I think, oatmeal colour of this. She's calling it her Father Ted cardigan because we're both big fans of the sitcom from the 90s called Father Ted, which is absolutely hilarious, about 3 priests on an island. And yeah, I mean, it's gonna, because it's called the Good Grandpa cardigan, it's gonna have pockets like an old man thing. And I think she's really, really going to love it. This is for Christmas. I'm quite confident we're gonna get there. Today is, what is the date today? The 17th of November, so well on the way. It's knitted with quite big needles. 5.5mm needles. I think the original recommended yarn was like a bulky weight or a super bulky weight, so the Aran weight of the Cascade stranded with the mohair is going to puff up nicely and gets the right weight. And I think the added silk mohair just gives this such a lot of drape and a little bit of a sheen. Oh, it's lovely, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing her face when she sees it. I'm gonna have to, it's not a surprise, she's chosen it and she gets little picture updates when I'm knitting it and gets excited, and I'm gonna have to see her at some point before the sleeve's almost done and make sure that this is the right length, that the body's the right length, that the sleeve is the right length. I've kept the bottom of the ribbing on a cord, because then I can extend the ribbing if I need to. I don't want to cast off and then unpick a cast off if it's the wrong length. Because of the silk mohair, it'll stick and it'll be a nightmare. It is knitted top down. I think the construction's clever, simple, elegant. Yeah, really, really enjoyable, easy pattern so far. All in one piece, top down, in the round. Well, not in the round because it's a cardigan, so you do have to purl, but I don't mind purling. Love a bit of purling, so that is not a problem for me. You could probably knit it in the round and steek it if you were determined, but it's not a massive amount of knitting because the stitches are quite big, so I'm enjoying that. This is slightly on the back burner now because of my third WIP, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. My second WIP is a bit crazy, but in a good way. See, it's got its own bag, own massive bag here. Okay, this is a present. I don't think she watches this regularly, so I can talk to you about it. This is a present that I have designed for my sister. I have two little sisters, but one of my little sisters lives in Shropshire, a beautiful countryside, and she loves walking and taking photographs of the hills and the sheep. And it's where my grandparents, she lives where my grandparents used to live before they passed away. And you know, it's got a special meaning to us, the countryside around there. Anyway, she took, I should put on here, she took photographs of these sheep and she'd send them to us on our WhatsApp group, and we're like, oh, that's great. And I know that her house is chilly. She's got a lovely old sort of 1930s house. It is a bit chilly and she needs hot water bottles sometimes. So in my wisdom, I have purchased a hot water bottle for her. I know she's got one, but I've bought a new one just to be, you know, extravagant at Christmas. And I've decided to design a hot water bottle cover. And I sort of make things a lot more complicated than they need to be. I could have just got the photograph, found some software online and charted it, like put some squares over it, like I've worked out the stitch count, I've worked out the dimensions and everything, and I was going to make a chart. But before I did that, I thought I'll draw or paint the pictures and then make a chart from that. I don't know why I decided to add that extra step in. I love drawing and painting, so this is the sheep that I've drawn from her photograph. And this is a bit more rubbish. This was sort of a general, I think I was trying to break the colours down within the photos and get a general idea for the palette I would use. That's the sort of general one. So I got these two, couldn't decide which one was better. So I've ended up wanting to do a sheep on one side of the hot water bottle cover and with the view on the other. I can't do anything simply. Then I tried to draw a graph, realised that these are too small to put the graph on top of. It all got very confusing. So I could have got mathematical. There's probably loads of things I could have done, and you could probably put in the comments loads of sensible things I could have done. There's probably an app, there's probably all sorts of things. If there isn't an app, someone should make one. I would buy it. But I didn't. So I just decided to just start knitting and see what happened, and luckily I wasn't doing like a fair owl pattern. I could have been sensible, but I decided to sort of paint with wool. So I had lots of Spindrift, Jamieson's of Shetland Spindrift, and lots of different colours, mainly from a lot of the Marie Wallin cardigans and jumpers that I've done with this really lovely rustic wool, sheepy wool. Loads and loads of it. So I selected the colours I thought matched, and I'm going to show you in a minute, but it's just I'm telling you about my trials and tribulations. I started and then just kept knitting and hoping for the best, but it's quite stressful. I think, like I said, with my sea glass tea, because I have to make so many decisions whilst I knit with this, it is not relaxing. It's fun, but I have to concentrate, and then there's always that worry, like, is it going to work out okay? And then I keep having to tell myself, you've knitted her a hot water bottle cover. It doesn't have to be perfect. She'll still think it's nice, even if it doesn't look the way I think it should look. Then I knitted the big sheep, and then he looked insane, like a sort of alien Yoda or Gizmo, the gremlins. I think she likes gremlins, so she might not mind. Anyway, then I had to add embroidery on top, but this is I got lots of advice at my knitting group. This is what I have so far. Oh, there. I think he will even out when he's blocked. Can you see like the ears? I suppose he does look a bit like that. Slightly, we've now got slightly unrelated to the original photograph, but enough that I think she'll appreciate the sentiment. drop them down there. So this is what we have for one side, and we've got all of the, you know, the hillside in the background. I'm now knitting the sky and realising the original picture there were hills, so I'm going to have to, there's some blue there and there should be like a hill, but I'm doing quite a bit of duplicate stitching on top. I've duplicate stitched here, hit the eyes, the nose, the detailing on here to try and make that work, and I think it does work. But I could easily duplicate stitch some more green over here. I'm not unpicking anything at this stage. I'm not that far from finishing. I'm probably about nearly halfway up, at least a third of the way up the hot water bottle. This is the back. It's just got the feels, the heather, the green and stuff on the back, and I might duplicate stitch some of the little sheep, dot them around on the back when I'm done, depending on how much time I've got. The sheep is knitted in some of the Cumulus Fibre Spates Pearl, shade Pearl. I am not sponsored by Fibre Spates. You'd think I would be by now. I'm joking, I'm not sponsored by anyone. I just love it because it's so soft, and I just talk about what I like on here. I just go on about them all the time. So yes, this is hopefully going to be finished. I'm going to go and visit her in early December, so I'm hoping to get this finished by then. I'm sure I will. And she'll have to like it. She will like it. So that is my second WIP. My third WIP is another SWIP from, like I said before, but I'm just impressed with myself for getting this far on it. Because of the pressure of December coming, I have been organised and started a Christmas jumper. My Christmas jumper last year was the Betty and Judy Lodge sweater, and it's great, but I wanted a more cuddly... It's not that the Betty and Judy Lodge Christmas sweater isn't traditional, it's like a 50s thing, but I wanted a more, you know, what you would picture when you think of a Christmas jumper this year. So I have decided to knit the Caribou Crossing jumper by the Petite Knitter. Put a picture up here. And I have got this far with it. Ta-da! Look at the reindeer. I am so happy about the reindeer. Look at that. It's a lovely, lovely fabric. I'll say what I've knitted it in first before I waffle on and go on a tangent. So this is knitted in Knitting for Olive. I'm in love with the Knitting for Olive yarns. Knitting for Olive merino, and one strand of that and one strand of the Knitting for Olive silk mohair. So the merino is white and the silk mohair is cream, making a slightly off-white colour here, which I think is going to just look nice. Goes with my skin okay. And the brown is made up of this Knitting for Olive merino in the shade cognac with the silk mohair brown bear. I did a brown bear cardigan in this. I called it my brown bear cardigan. I knitted the Kingston cardigan using some of this mohair a few months ago, and I had some left and I couldn't resist using it again. Don't know why I ordered 2 balls, because please be aware, if you're going to knit this, 1 ball of each of these was more than enough for the colour work if you're going to stop where the colour work's recommended, and there's plenty left over. But I've got a spare ball now to find something else to knit this in. But yeah, that's the brown colours together, and combined together they make this lovely mid-brown, which I think is a lovely contrast, just a bit of variation, hints of gold with the 2 colours playing off each other. And the mohair and the merino look like that. So they're very similar, just not quite the same shade. I would have got all white, but they'd sold out of the white mohair, and I thought, oh, I don't mind a bit of a mix. So that's what I'm knitting it in. It is knitted in the round top down. I'm not supposed to have done this. I sort of wish I hadn't done this. You know, I like knitting in the flat because I'm a lunatic. I cast on, and sometimes when I cast on, I knit 1 or 2 rows to make it so that I don't twist when I join in the round, because I have a habit of doing that. I did 1 or 2 rounds in rib, and then I thought, oh, hold on a second, I knit sort of twist. No, when I'm knitting flat, I don't knit twisted rib, but when I knit in the round, sometimes I end up knitting twisted rib because I knit into the back of my knit stitches. I forgot what it's called. I talk about it in my first episode. I knit in a bit of a strange way. which makes my pearls really easy. But when I purl, I basically twist the stitches and then I have to untwist them with the knitting. So I got myself in a bit of a pickle and thought, oh, I'm really enjoying knitting my rib backwards and forwards, and I don't like magic loop if I can avoid it. I'll just knit the ribbing straight and then join it in the round later, it'll be fine. And well, it would be fine, but I didn't think this through. There is some short shaping on the back using, I think it's supposed to be Japanese short rows, but I use German short rows. And I got into that merrily, joined in the round, got into the short row shaping without thinking, oh, hold on, this flap is now going to be on the side, because I would have just put that at the back if I could. But because of the position of the short row shaping there, means this has to be on the side, which now means I'm going to be left with a seam, aren't I? Like an absolute pillock. I'm going to be left with a seam on the side. And I'm not going to try it on for you because I can't put these two on together. But this could be lovely left up, and it's surprisingly soft. I thought it'd be too prickly to be up, and I expected I would have to fold it down and maybe tack it when it's finished, like a bit of a thick collar. I could do that, but actually it feels really nice up and it's warm, and I want the option. And now when I have a seam, I'm either going to have the seam on the outside or the inside, unless I do half and half. I normally have my hair done anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but I'm annoyed with myself. So don't do what I did. If you're knitting this, just join it in the round when it says, and don't be silly. So yes, I've really enjoyed the colour work. It's oversized. I'm knitting size 3. I tend to be knitting my yokes a bit tight. I don't like a massive oversized yoke when it's knitted in the round, I think, just because of my shaping. But last I tried this on, it was like here, and it was looking fine. It wasn't too tight, it wasn't too big. I think the armhole depth is right. I should try it on, I know, before I knit much more. And again, I'm expecting it to become even more cohesive when it's blocked, as it does with colour work. But to make my life, again, I like making things complicated. To make my life even more exciting, not complicated, exciting, I thought, after I had started knitting the colour work, ooh, wouldn't it be great if I had some beads, some sparkly beads to put on, like with the snowflakes and the sparkles. So I got these from Etsy. I can't remember the shop off the top of my head. Maybe, unless I can. Does it say on here in a little packet? Does it say? Abundance74.com on Etsy. So I got these Swarovski crystal beads, and they've got a slight gold hint. Oh, and they're so pretty. And the plan, I haven't given up yet, although you can probably tell from my tone, it's not gone quite to plan. I couldn't strand them all onto the mohair because I'd already started knitting the colour work when I got the beads. And I couldn't anyway because the beads holes are so tiny, because I ordered them online and I don't really know what I'm doing with beads. Beads holes are too tiny for the silk mohair, even though it's thin silk mohair. So I thought I'll knit all the colour work and I'll sew them on separately. But the holes are so tiny, I can't even get my tiny needle through. I can get the needle through the beads, but the eye's just a tiny bit tight. So I'm toying with it. I haven't tried yet. I'm toying with the idea of, you know, some strong thread and just thread them straight onto the thread, get a load of them and then weave them in, making sure I do the thread on the back loosely and invisible stitch, like zigzagging from where I need them to be. I'll find a way. I'll go back to my knitting group and ask for help if all those ladies are so clever, if I can't find my own way. And I want to put, I think I've got enough to put a little sparkle on each of the reindeer's eyes, for instance. I might do one in the middle of all the little snowflakes and maybe one of the big ones of them. I've got 144, so I've worked out I've got something like 21, I think, repeats of each pattern, of each motif going round. And I did some maths. I've lost the maths. I wrote it down. It's on a note on my phone. And yeah, I'm going to just get some extra little sparkle on there, because who does not love sparkles and I can't pronounce it, Swarovski crystals at a Christmas time of year. Oh, I can see the light is a bit dodgy. Is that any better? Might just be because the light's behind my head. I hope you can see okay and I don't look like an alien. Who knows? good pattern so far, really, really happy. It's I like the way the increases are. The increases are done within the pattern, and one of the increases I think is really clever because it's just that, I don't know if you can see, there's one that comes just underneath the reindeer's tummies, and I think that'll make the legs do this a little bit. It's just very subtle. I just you can, it's very thoughtfully done, and I think it works really, really well. I'm just really enjoying it. I don't think I've done very many colourwork yolks apart from this one top down. Certainly haven't done one quite like this, and I've wanted to for ages. And there is, like I've said, there's short row shaping on the back to raise the back of the neck, which will make the fit look nicer. And there's also the option to do some short row shaping underneath the bust. So when you finish the colour work, she does give you some instructions if you want to, if you've got a fuller bust or you're wanting a little bit more room in the chest, to do some extra short rows underneath the colour work to make the fit better. And sometimes I might do that myself. I have done that before, but I decided with this one, I think it's going to be slightly oversized. It's a boxy fit, and I think I don't need that. So I'm risking it. I'm going to do the standard fit. There's an option for a crop fit. I'm going to do a standard fit because I'm quite long-waisted anyway. And I need to get this done by December, because as soon as December comes, I get very Christmassy, but not until the correct time. As soon as December comes, I want to wear this. So we've got a couple of weeks. I think I could do it. Do you have faith in me? It's just whether I get bored of all the stocking stitch now, but we'll see. We've already got, like, where was I this morning? This morning I was about there, so we've done that. And the colour work is quite time consuming because it's a lot of repeats and a lot of faffing. And now I'm whizzing round. We'll see. We'll see, but I'm really definitely hoping to wear this by Christmas. I'm prioritising this at the moment because this ideally needs to be done before December. Then I'll get on to my friend's cardigan because that doesn't need to be done until Christmas Day. Oh no, but before that I'll be doing my sister's hot water bottle cover because I need to see her early December. It's all going to work, but I'm being very disciplined. I think I said everything I need to about that. My Caribou Crossing Christmas jumper. I'm very, very happy so far. I'm still going to knit my Peacock Solo by Lean Holm Samso. That's still on my list, and I've got the wool for that over there, but that's going to have to wait until after Christmas. I've had a crochet pattern sent to me by my other friend, and I think she's very keen for me to knit her one, but I'm not well, I can crochet a little bit, but definitely not to that level. So I've said you need to find me the equivalent knitting pattern if you want that for your birthday, because I know it's her birthday in February. And oh, there's so many things I want to knit. I've still got my Ava dress in my queue. That's got to be done, but because it's got colder now and that's like a lace dress, that's blatantly going to end up waiting until the spring at this rate. You never know. You never know. Oh, and there's another present for my sister that my other sister wants me to knit, but we're all in consultations about that. I think I've got a pattern, but I'll talk about that in another episode. So last episode, I talked about a giveaway. I'm trying to raise money for the Smiths Magenis Foundation charity, SMS charity, because my nephew, who's now 4, he has this rare, it's a rare, I think it's like it's a condition. I don't know how we would describe it. It's to do with a difference in your genes, and it causes mild to severe learning disability and difficulty sleeping and with language and behaviour management, and it can be really, really challenging for families to cope with. There can be mobility issues and sight issues and lots of things going on. But this charity, the SMS Foundation, actually supports families and children going through this. So I wanted to monetize my channel to raise money for that charity. Sorry, I'm getting my words in a muddle. And to do that, I need more subscribers and probably more watch hours. And I think I'm almost on 2,000 subscribers now, so thank you very much. And the idea was everyone wanted to enter. They would like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment beneath saying what they would knit in the wools that I was giving away. And I had loads and loads of you with some lovely comments, and they've been really, really enjoyable to read. So thank you for that. and I have done a random number generator. I've assigned a number to each comment, done a random number generator, and I have the winners here. So I'm going to read out your handles on YouTube. I hope you don't mind that. You put your name in the comments, so hopefully you're all right with that. And if you could message me on my Instagram your address, I will get these sent out. So the first person is Laura Dillon 3704. Laura has won the Fiberspace, not Fiberspace Cumulus, Fiberspace Vivacious 4-ply in Peacock. Laura, congratulations. Send me your address on my Instagram. My Instagram handle is @MellyArt13. So that is Laura Dillon 3704. And I was going to say what you were going to knit with it, Laura, but I have got that information on my phone, and my phone is the thing that's filming me now, so it's all gone a bit wrong. The second winner for the person that wanted the lamb's wool, lamb and mohair, Simply Shetland Aran, is Jonathan Lasham 7791. Jonathan, congratulations. If you send me a direct message on Instagram with your address, I can get that in the post to you. And the third winner for the Amble yarn, it's Amble Wandering Souls, a conscious blend of washable merino wool, alpaca and recycled nylon by the Fibre Company. The third winner is Lorraine I'm going to try and pronounce this right. It's my writing, not the person's name. I believe it's pronounced Lorraine Rideout 7993. And so Lorraine, again, if you could also send me a direct message on Instagram @MellyArt13 with your address, I can get that in the post. Thank you very much everyone who took part. It was really, really lovely to read your comments and see all the responses and the support out there. I really appreciate it. So yeah, I think that is it for today. It's not as long as usual, but maybe I'm just talking very fast. I don't know. I hope that you are all enjoying your knitting and getting excited for Christmas jumpers and things like that. If you would like to comment below and let me know what it is you will be knitting for Christmas, I'd be really interested to see any other Christmas jumpers, because I'm already storing up more ideas again for next year, because I'd really like to get to a December where I can wear loads of different Christmas jumpers. And it is quite nice to sort of have this build up, I think, of a little pre-Advent knitting, I think. So I would do this again next year, definitely. No, I think that's everything. I think that's everything for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye.